Welcome to this Baccarat basic training. My name is Gigi. Learn the game of Baccarat so you can beat the casino. Why did I decide to give this training? I took an interest in Baccarat due to training offered in 2010. Since that time, I have spent a lot of time playing the game and trying various betting systems. Due to my background in engineering and statistics, I was drawn to attacking the challenge of how to beat the casino. I sought out training in betting systems and began building my own computer simulation to predict the long-term performance of various strategies. Through my study, I have discovered some techniques I offer to share with others. In this Baccarat basic training, I will cover these topics. You will learn the rules of the game as we review example hands to illustrate the rules. I will present an overview of the betting odds and what I have found to be the best approaches to playing the game. I have another YouTube video called Beat the Casino, Keep What You Win, where I share results from extensive testing of betting strategies. Let's review the rules of the game. Baccarat is a card game with only two hands dealt. One hand is designated the player hand, and the other is for the banker. Each hand initially receives two cards, and depending on the result, a third card may be drawn. Before dealing starts, you can bet on either the banker or the player or for a tie. Some tables offer bonus bets, but that is beyond the scope of this training. All playing decisions are made by the Baccarat dealer according to a standard set of rules. You should take it upon yourself to have a good understanding of the rules, to keep tabs on the dealer, and to protect your interest. People can make mistakes, and you have the right to question a game decision. You should be satisfied that the outcome was fair and according to the rules. And for that reason, you should understand the rules of the game. The object of the game is to come as close to a total of 9 as possible. All cards are assigned a numerical value, and the hand total is the sum of all cards dealt. Let's review the card values. In Baccarat, aces are valued as 1, and cards 2 through 9 are valued according to their number. For example, a deuce is valued as 2, a 5 as 5, and so on. The only special rule on card values is that tens and face cards count as a 0. If the total value of two cards is greater than 10, you will drop the first digit. For example, a hand of 8 and 5 totaling 13 would be valued as 3. A hand of 9, 2, and 7 would be 18, with a point value of 8. 3 cards totaling 10, 20, or 30 are valued as 0. The object of the game is to come as close to a total of 9 as possible. Of the 3 hand results shown, the result closest to 9 is 8. So the 8 hand is the best hand on this page. On the contrary, a 0 result is the worst possible hand. The object of the game is to come as close to a total of 9 as possible. If the first 2 cards dealt to either player or banker add up to a total of 8 or 9, the result is called a natural 8 or a natural 9. If either hand, banker or player, has a natural, no more cards are dealt and the play is settled. As you might expect, a natural 9 wins over a natural 8. Each hand starts by dealing 2 cards to both player and banker. After these cards are dealt, there are precise rules to determine how any remaining cards are played. The cards dealt will dictate what happens, and no additional wagers can be made. The rules of play are consistent at all casinos, and they are usually described on the betting cards that the casino provides, or you can find the rules online. The rules for completing the player's hand are listed here. If after dealing the first 2 cards, either the banker or player hand has a total of 8 or 9, the natural hand wins and the game is over. If both hands total 8 or 9, the 9 will win. If they are both equal in value, the game ends as a tie. If neither hand has a natural, both hands are played out according to the game rules. The rules for drawing a third card by the player are simple. If the player has a 2-card total of 6 or 7, the player will stand and no third card is drawn. If the two-card total for player is 0 to 5, the player will always draw a third card. The exception to that is when the two-card total for banker is a natural 8 or natural 9. If that happens, banker has won with a natural. So, the rules for the player third card draw are easy to learn and remember. Now, we have covered the rules for the player. So let's move to the banker. Remember that the banker always goes last. The rules are more complicated for the banker third card draw. First, let's look at what is done when the player does not get a third card. Recall that the player stands after two cards when the player total is 6, 7, or 8, or 9. If the player has an 8 or a 9, that is a natural and the game is over. When player stands with two cards, a 6 or 7, banker will draw a third card if its two-card total is from 0 to 5. When player stands with two cards, banker will stand when its two-card total is 6, 7, 8, or 9. Once we know if the banker will or will not draw a third card, the cards are totaled and the dealer determines the results of the hand, which will be a banker win, a player win, or a tie. When the player draws a third card, the rules for when the banker hand draws a third card appear to be complex at first. If you are in doubt when you are in the casino, keep a copy of the rules handy. Most times they are written on the back of the score sheets that are provided. Let's go through these quickly, and you can study this later on your own time. Rules can be found online, or just watch this video a few times until you master it. If the banker two-card total is 0, 1, or 2, the banker will always draw a third card. The exception to that would be when player had a natural to end the game. Again, a natural is a two-card total of 8 or 9, and this means that the game is over after two cards. If the banker two-card total is 3, then banker will draw a third card except when the player's third card is 8. Banker stands when the player's third card is 8. Otherwise, banker will get a third card. If the banker two-card total is 4, then banker will draw a third card when the player's third card is from 2 to 7. Banker stands when the player's third card is 1, 8, 9, or 10. If the banker two-card total is 5, then banker will draw a third card when the player's third card is from 4 to 7. Banker stands when the player's third card is 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, or 10. If the banker two-card total is 6, then banker will draw a third card when the player's third card is 6 or 7. Banker stands when the player's third card is any other value. If the banker's two-card total is 7, the banker will never draw a third card. Banker stands at 7. 3 cards is the maximum for both player and banker. When both hands have completed their draws, the hand closest to 9 wins. The dealer pays out winnings to whoever bet on the winning hand. In event of a tie, all bets on banker and player are pushes, neither win nor loss. Banker and player bets are even odds and pay out 1 to 1, so you can only win the amount that you bet. Due to the rules used for the third card, the banker hand always has a slight edge over the player hand. Ignoring the tie bets, on average the banker hands win 50.7% of the time, and the player hands win 49.3% of the time. On most games, the casino collects a 5% commission when banker wins. This 5% will either be paid at the time you win, or they keep a tally, and you can pay at the end of the shoe. In most games, the shoe consists of 8 decks. Baccarat odds are some of the most favorable in the casino, since the house advantage is so small. In the advanced training, I will present concepts on betting strategy and money management that improve your chances of winning. To introduce the rules, let's go over a few examples to illustrate a few of the possible outcomes. To learn this well, it would be a good idea to practice on your own. You can get an app on a smartphone or play Baccarat online for fun without betting, or just use a deck of cards and refer to the rules. Get a copy of the rules and follow along with play to understand all possible outcomes as a way to learn the rules. So, here are a few Baccarat hand examples. In hand number 1, The player hand is 10 and 7 for a total of 7. The banker hand is 5 and 2 for a total of 7. Under the rules, neither player nor banker can draw with a 2-card total of 7. This ends in a tie. Hand number 2. For the player hand, you have a 4 and a 2 for a total of 6. The banker has a 10 and a king for a total of 0. Player must stand with a total of 6. Banker will draw a 3rd card. Banker draws a 3, so player wins 6-3. Hand number 3. The player draws a 2 and an ace for a total of 3, and the banker draws a king and a 5 for a total of 5. With a total of 3, the player must draw a card. Player draws a 7 and now has 2, 1, and 7 for a total of 0. That is 10, but subtract the 10 digit and you get 0. Even though banker would win by standing, banker still must take a card according to the rules. Banker draws a 7 and now has a hand total of 0 plus 5 plus 7, which is a 2. Banker wins 2-0. Hand number 4. Player draws a 3 and a 4 for a total of 7. Banker draws a 10 and a 3. 0 plus 3 equals 3. According to the rules, the player will stand with a 7. Banker draws and gets an ace. Banker now has 10, 3 ace, so that's 0 plus 3 plus 1 for a 4. Player wins 7-4. Hand number 5. Player draws a jack 8, so 0 plus 8 equals 8. The banker hand is 4 plus 3 equals 7. The player has a natural and wins automatically without banker having a chance to improve his hand. When a player or banker hand shows either an 8 or a 9 with the original 2 cards, this is called a natural, and the game is over. Hand number 6. The player hand is ace 2, or 1 plus 2 equals 3. The banker hand is 3 queen, or 3 plus 0 equals 3. Both hands start off equally, but it's too early to declare a tie. When player has a 3, there will always be a 3rd card drawn. Player draws first and receives a 9, for a total of 1 plus 2 plus 9 equals 12, so drop the 10 for a player hand total of 2. Banker would love to stand with his total of 3, but according to the rules, bank must draw a 3rd card. Banker draws an 8 for a 3 queen 8 hand, so 3 plus 0 plus 8 equals 11, so drop the 10 for a banker, for a hand total of 1. Things didn't work out for banker that time. Player wins 2-1. Due to the rules used for the 3rd card, the banker hand always has a slight edge over the player hand. Ignoring the tie bets, on average the banker hands win 50.7% of the time, and player hands win 49.3% of the time. Without the commission, a smart player would only play banker and enjoy a 1.2% advantage over player and over the casino. On most games, the casino collects a 5% commission when banker wins. This 5% will either be paid out at the time you win, or the dealer keeps a tally and you can pay later. The 5% tax the casino charges on winning banker hands gives the house an advantage over both player and banker bets. So let's ignore the commission paid on banker wins for now. We know that banker has a 1.2% advantage over player since it comes up more often. A key recommendation is to find a table at the casino where they do not charge a commission for bank wins. There is a Baccarat version called Easy Bac that does not collect a commission when banker wins. Instead, the casino gets its advantage due to unfavorable odds on side bets. Without commission, the banker has a 1.2% advantage over player, so there is a small advantage that can give you an edge over the long term. Every Baccarat table will have plenty of scorecards and pencils for players to keep track of the outcomes on every hand. Many players will do so religiously and carefully analyze their card for trends as the winning hand switches back and forth from banker to the player. A true statistician will say that this is a big waste of time. The smart player will bet on banker every time and leave the scorecards alone. There is a Baccarat version called Easy Bac that does not collect a commission when banker wins. Easy Baccarat rules are the same as standard Baccarat, except on the banker bet. All wins pay even money. But if the banker wins a 3-card total of 7, then the banker bet will push. A 3-card winning total of 7 on banker is called the Dragon 7. A bet on Dragon 7 will pay out at 40 to 1. So a $5 bet will pay $200. This result does not occur that often, so the casino has a big advantage. When there is a Dragon 7, a normal bet on banker will result in a push with no payout. The hand will be treated like a tie. Most often, you will want to treat this as a tie and repeat the same bet again on the next hand. Let's review what we have learned during our basic training. We have learned the detailed rules of the game. Several hand results were reviewed to illustrate when a 3rd card is drawn and how the hands are scored. Most importantly, we learned how to use the odds of the game to our advantage. We learned that without commission, the banker has a 1.2% advantage over player, and that this small advantage can give you an edge over the long term. We learned that it would be to our advantage to play at tables that do not charge a commission when banker wins. There is a Baccarat version called Easy Bac that does not collect a commission when banker wins. So because you watched my video, I am offering a free sample newsletter. In this newsletter, I will provide details on a method to set your bankroll. I will provide a detailed summary of the results that were covered here. All you need to do to take advantage of this free offer is to send an email with newsletter in the subject line. Send this to baccaratgravy@gmail.com. Take advantage of this free offer by sending an email with newsletter in the subject line. Send this to baccaratgravy@gmail.com. Check that spelling. That is B-A-C-C-A-R-A-T and the word gravy, G-R-A-V-Y, @gmail.com. Learn to play Baccarat to get the gravy. Also, if you have any questions about this video or other aspects of the game, feel free to send an email to this address. I can also help you optimize your betting strategy for any casino game. I can provide custom modeling services to simulate your favorite betting method. The computer simulation is not limited to Baccarat. It can be modified to suit any table game. With this service, I will build a computer model of the betting method that you want to test. Depending on your system, I may even build the initial simulation at no cost to you. That depends on its complexity. So if you have a favorite betting strategy that you think needs to be tested, this service will provide a simulation and results on several shoes. The service I offer from this will be to test the simulation on hundreds or thousands of shoes, depending on what you want. That part is the paid service. Doing your testing at home is always more cost-effective than trying something out in the casino. I have spent hundreds of hours simulating betting strategies, and I am happy to offer my knowledge and ability to evaluate these systems in a cost-effective manner. So if you have a method that you want to try without risking a loss at the casino, you could save money by having me test it for you. To inquire about the gambling strategy testing, send an email with testing in the subject line. Send this to baccaratgravy@gmail.com with your phone number and the best time of day for you to take a call. Doing your testing at home is always more cost-effective than trying something out in the casino. As proof of that, let me read these testimonials. Here are some comments on my Baccarat simulations. A testimonial from Gil in Texas reads as follows. I have played, developed, and tested Baccarat systems for over 30 years. Any programming of Baccarat systems I need is done by Gigi. There is no telling how much money he has saved me over the last 5 years. He is very knowledgeable about the game, very honest, and fair with his programming fees. If you play Baccarat and think you have an above-average system, you really need to test it on a minimum of 1,000 shoes. And the only reasonable way to do that is to have someone program your system for you. Gigi can do that. Thank you for sharing that, Gil. Another quote from Dave in Connecticut is as follows: I have been working on many different approaches to beating Baccarat consistently for the past 8 years. The testing takes lots of time doing it by hand. If you have your parameters together with what you are trying to accomplish, Gigi can take it from there and put it in the computer. There, he can manipulate the variables and test your thoughts by running thousands of shoes. Gigi is very talented and quick to give you the feedback you need to make changes or create new ideas. He is extremely reasonable and very easy to work with. Thank you, Dave. If you want to speak to them, they are willing to take your phone calls. I only need to get their permission first, so let me know. If you want to talk about testing your betting strategy, contact me at baccaratgravy@gmail.com. Learn to play Baccarat to get the gravy. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope this was helpful. I have another YouTube video called Beat the Casino, Keep What You Win, where I share results from extensive testing of betting strategies. Send an email to get on my mailing list to learn about any future training that I will be offering. Thank you again for your time.